Quantum. It was recently upgraded, and there's two ways you can access the system. One way is to locally come to this computer and log into the application via Chrome, or another way would be for you logging in through your phone or tablet, computer, to the wireless network. It's not available on this floor. It's only available on the first and second floor. And that one is with a hidden SSID of Lutron with a capital L and a password of Lutron1 exclamation point, all lowercase. So once you log into the SSID, you will be able to access the application by typing this in one of your browser, either in your phone, computer, tablet, laptop, HTTPS, and then the IP address of the NOC, which is this little computer right here. So everything is network. You don't need to worry about anything on the network portion of things. Now to log into qVue, and this will look the same in your phone or anywhere you go to. From here, I already have a shortcut, or I can do the HTTPS 192.168.40.12. Hopefully you will get this kind of like warning that the connection is not private. Just ignore this, click advanced, and proceed to unsave. This is only because there's a security certificate that they want to kind of like pay for, just to say this is secure. But it's not like you're kind of like going somewhere that it's gonna get you will get harmed. So the password, username admin, and the password is capital W, capital H O B O K E N 2023 exclamation point. So W Hoboken 2023 exclamation point. And I can copy and paste this. Let's see if it will let me. So once you sign in, you will have this main dashboard, which is your alert for the entire system, schedule for the entire system, and quick control, which is basically your virtual buttons control that you can create. I believe that there's no quick control right now, but this is something that you can make like a new, quickly turn something on or off instead of navigating to the area that you want to control this. This is useful if you know that you usually go ahead and, let's say, in the bar area at Lulu's, you want the festoon lights outside to go on or off at certain times, so you can just click there and activate. This is your alerts. This is basically when some devices are not communicating. Right now I disconnected one of the control stations on the second floor, so this is why you have two, which is basically your daylight sensor that we need to troubleshoot, and a device that is not connected. And probably someone connected it right now because it just went back. Oh, I clicked pre-function, so I'm actually at an area. So if I go back into the main, and this is the keypad that I am working on. Now, the main thing to navigate is
turning on and off the lights.
Floor. Mm-hmm. On your floor, this is your floor plan for the first floor. This is your second floor. And then this is your Lulu's second floor. Lulu's is kind of like a separate floor plan. So you have your terrace. This is the office. Basically in the office, you see some lighting loads, but this is basically some lighting loads that were before part of Lulu's and are no longer at Lulu's, but they're hidden somewhere. So I didn't want to delete it from the database in case that later on you do some renovation and those loads are actually there. You have your coat closet, you have a lighting load in the coat closet, and you have some control stations in the coat closet. I like to start with Lulu just because kind of like Lulu, it's a smaller space. Let's say Lulu's Terrace, you can quickly turn the lights on or off from here, from this menu, and quickly dim it up and down. You can rename the area. You can go into the area dashboard, and this will bring you the main dashboard for Lulu's Terrace. Here you will see any alerts pertaining to Lulu's Terrace. tuning, which is basically tuning the light levels. I will say you don't have to worry about that. This is more like engineering when they're replacing light bulbs or entire circuits and they need to bring up or down the maximum and minimum level of the lighting circuit. You have schedule, which is basically scheduled to turn the lights on and off, and then you can quickly turn the lights on or off or set scenes. Let me just go into the lighting tab. So this is basically your off scene, your full on, high, medium, and low, which is your scene 1, 2, 3, and 4. So right now everything is off. If you want, you click full on, and that will go to full on. One quickly way to adjust a full on scene, which is your scene number 1, which will follow the control station scenes if programmed.
So the light switches. Right?
Yep. So you don't like that everything is full on. You actually want some 77%. You can adjust the slider. You can adjust the slider one by one, or you can show it advanced and type the level that you want. So let's say 80. I just want 80 on everything. And this is doing live changes. If I didn't want to adjust the lighting levels and make any changes live, I will click disable and the lights will stay at the level that they are. High advanced, so everything is at 80 and I want to save that level to my new full on scene. So that full on scene is no longer going to be 100%, it's going to be 80%. So this is
and
simple.
that will mirror to the keypad permanently.
That will mirror to the keypad if the keypad is programmed to follow the scene 1.
Okay.
For the terrace. I believe that for the terrace, we just put a separate button control so that you can turn it on and off whenever you like. So this is permanent. So if I go back to high, it's going to be 75%, and back to full is 80%. I'm going to set it back to full and save it again. And this is all doing live changes. So now it's back to full. Now, if I go back in here, we have schedules. This is important because if you're having an event and you find that your lights are turning off, or the event is gonna be after hours, like until like 4 a.m., 3 a.m., you need to know that there's a time clock that turns the lights off at 1 a.m. And you probably want to check if you're having an event that it's kind of like that out of the blue. So at 1 a.m. we have a sweep time clock to turn the lights off. That's just in case someone was using the terrace and forgot to turn it off. There's nothing turning it on. So the lights are only gonna go off if they were manually turned on. So going back, and I will suggest not using the back button on the browser. Just click out by following this menu. You can quickly go into Lulu's Terrace by typing the name here, Terrace, and then you will have some suggestions, and then that will bring you to the main dashboard. If we go back into Lulu's Terrace, I don't want those lights I don't want to leave it on, because then they will be on until 1 a.m. So I can just quickly turn it off, and you will see that they go on. Now at Lulu's, this is different. So it's the main thing here, but once you go into the area dashboard, there's no event, because that space you use it on a it's not something that you have like a set time to go and use it. So you will manually turn it on and dim it up and down. So you can quickly go into the lights and you will see a bunch of different lighting circuits, and they must be labeled to identify what they are. This qVue future, this is because it was not tied in at the time of the startup. So this is your on and off. So the disc qVue can only be on and off. Right now in the first scene, full on, they're on. Scene 2 is on, most likely. If you don't want that to be on and you want it off, you can click off and save the level back into a scene. Let's say high, which was my 75%. So right now there's no scene set up, let's say like different levels and different zoning. There's like 15 zones. Everything is kind of like generic, which is 100%, 75, 50, 25, and off. If you want to adjust it, you can adjust each slider and save it to a scene. And this will follow the different buttons. for Lulu's. So at Lulu's for the bar and every area, and basically I separated these areas into, let's say, the pool table lounge, Lulu's, and then the elevator at Lulu's, just so that it's more simple to see what the lighting loads zones are at, instead of having like 20 circuits in one area. So at Lulu's you have two control stations that will control. One control station is in the coat closet, the other control station is in this office here. If you go into the office, you have the zones that you have here are the spare zones that were not found, and it's probably hidden up in the ceiling for future purpose. Now if we click back, you see this new tab called devices. This is basically the control station or any other devices that are located in this area. So if we go into devices, that's the control station for Lulu. That's basically following scene 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth button is your festoon lights on and off. We are engraving those buttons, and then they have kind of like more direction on what they do, and the scene off or turning off Lulu. If you don't want anyone touching that control station, you can lock it and unlock it, so no one will by any means will adjust the lighting in that space.
So like in the middle of an event, someone bumps into it, nothing will happen?
Nothing will happen.
Okay.
And this will be useful, especially because the second control station for Lulu is basically in this coat closet. And I noticed that you save, you put a lot of furniture in there. So if we go into the coat closet, where is it?
Yeah, in the past that panel hadn't worked.
Okay. It's probably locked out.
It's locked.
In the past the panel hadn't worked.
Yeah, I think I did added it in, so I think the only thing is that control station, I have to make a little trick. East function. So in the past the panel didn't work because it was part of the system from the first floor, but your lighting were controlled from the second floor system, which the two were not communicating. So to make it work, I had to network it together through IP, and that panel is set to be at Lula's coat closet. I label it Lula coat closet, but it was actually part of the pre-function east on the second floor. Somehow that pre-function east before, at some point, that's what Lulu was, the pre-function. So you will find it here. I will try to put it in that coat closet and see if I can move it. But basically you go into devices and you will see that you can lock and unlock the control station.
Let's say we have a common one that may come up. Let's say we have a group in that has a projector right on the east end of the great room, right? And they want to lower the lights on that side so that it's not as bright on the east side of the ballroom. How would we go through and do that?
So that will be ballroom A, right? So in ballroom A, and you'll see that the lights are actually off. In the ballrooms and the meeting rooms, you have two different, a new
There's
kind
no
of
one
like
in there right now.
option
You
here.
could change them
Okay.
if you want to.
So you have the lighting tab to quickly control lights on and off, and then you have the wall. I know that you rarely join the ballroom A and B, but you can.
Oh no, we join them all the time.
Yeah, so right now it's separated. You can join them and control them together. But basically for the lights, let's say ballroom A, if you go into the area dashboard, you can go into lights, and then you will find that circuit.
Okay. None of them are joined together, right? All the circuits, they're all separated out?
All the circuits are separated. Yep.
Okay.
So you have some theatrical units that were before somehow connected. I'm thinking it was probably some outlets and are no longer there. That's another zone that I left in the programming just in case later on you find out that there's actually a use for it.
We'd have to jog each one to figure out the zone that we'd want to use?
Yep, so this is actually in relation to your system layout, floor layout that you sent me.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if I placed it here. but you would need to
We'll
reference
just have
that.
to find it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but if it was just them, they wouldn't reference it, like the like convention or catering, like wouldn't do, or the BNF team, they would just go to.
So they will need to know. So
Have to
this
just
was
find it.
this
So,
was
yeah.
really easy. The alcove
Mhm.
downlights, because it's the downlights at the alcove.
Yep.
Theatrical units, we don't even know. Those are
Yeah.
just extras there. And then we have some troffers, which are actually some of the downlights. I think the ones that says troffer are the ones that are more towards the projector screen.
Yeah, those are the bigger downlights. Okay.
And then the tracks are the little ones, the little pointing ones that are
Mhm.
up in the ceiling.
Like table spots. Yeah.
Yep. And then the fluorescents are the fluorescent lights that are around it.
So like they would change one scene, turn it up or turn it down in that area,
Yep.
and then they could save it. Let's say they were here all week, they could save it to the light scene, but it would just need to be changed back.
Yep. So let's say meeting,
Mm-hmm.
they will need to remember to change it back.
Yep.
So meeting, this is a good example. In the past, the first scene is usually 100%. For the ballroom A, we follow every single level that was previously set to. So you have some circuits at 50%, there's one that is 100% and 50%. If for some reason you think that 50% or 90%, it's not something that you like, or let's say the theatrical unit, you figure out what it is and you want them off, you can
Mhm.
turn them off, save to a scene, and that will permanently save to that meeting scene.
Got it.
Now,
Yeah.
if you don't want to save it to a permanent scene, because you know that this will affect the buttons that are there, you can go ahead and save it to one of the unnamed scenes over here.
Okay. Okay. And then so once someone then presses that button for something else, it'll change back to that and it'll erase that.
It will erase whatever was on scene A,
Yep. Okay.
and it will become the new scene.
Okay.
So scene A right now is just genetic, 25%. Scene 7 is genetic, 50% on everything. And scene 6 is 75% on everything. So those are kind of like blank scenes that you have.
Okay.
In the war room A and B, you have 5 buttons, 4 control stations. One that does scene 1 through 4 and off, and one that does scene 5 through 8 and off, which is your party and then your unnamed scene. If you want to adjust those scenes, you will adjust it here, and then they will follow whatever levels you adjusted in the program.
Okay. All right. I think for just the basic stuff, I think that's probably pretty good. And see if they have any questions. You got
Sure.
questions?
No, my biggest, I know in Lulu's, for example, now, and I think you alluded to it, that we didn't really set any of the scenes. You just kind of did your
Yep.
thing in terms of 100%, 75, 50.
Yep.
But now when we go ahead and try to dim the lights, the pool room area went completely dark, which before didn't happen.
You dim
Correct,
the
right?
lights how?
Yeah, the pool
Yeah.
room area doesn't dim, it just goes kind of on and off.
Yeah.
And also the, what is it,
The
Oh,
sign
and there was
is
a
off.
neon sign, that
Yeah.
now it's completely
not
off
co- it's not.
also. I don't know if those were all connected or not.
The neon sign, I couldn't turn it on, and I think I asked somebody, and
Yeah,
they
it had
said that
always
was
been on prior with the lights.
Okay.
But yeah, that room, I know when you go ahead and in that switch that's right when you walk into the office, where we use now to like turn on and off the lights or whatever, so like the scene, as soon as you go to one of the lower ones, all the lights are off in the pool room. So when you want to like have the lights dim because you have a party, but you want to have that area accessible, whether it's for a buffet or you go to play pool, it's very dark.
So you dim the lights, and then the lights in the at Lulu's dim, but then the lights at the pool table
Are
kind
off.
of like go off.
Yeah.
So that's more likely that the dimmings level for the Lulu's and the dimming levels for the pool area
Mhm.
are different. So if you have 20% for Lulu's, might be kind of like almost off at the pool table.
But we can change that, right? Or no?
So if you use the raise and lower from the control station, it will adjust the lighting level as a whole
You talking about from in here or?
from the control, from the button. But if you adjust it from here, it will dim.
So like we want to,
Separately.
if we want to, because that panel controls all of Lulu's, right?
Yeah.
So we want to change the scenes. So the pool room, let's say we want We want to change it right now. We want to keep it 75, 50, 25%, and 100%, right?
Mhm.
On the controller. However, we want, let's say, the pool room to always be at 100%. Or whatever it is.
Well, no, I think it should just be
No?
more like dimming accordingly.
Yeah, it should
Like
all
if
match.
Lulu's
I'd
was
say.
75%, the pool table room should be at 75%. If
I
Lulu's was
see.
at 25%, the
It's
pool
not
like
doing that.
it's
Okay.
not doing that. So
So
it's
that-
either like if Lulu's is at 50%, the pool table is off,
Got it.
and if
Oh.
Lulu's is at 100%, then the pool table is on. But it
I
should just
see.
be one uniform space that dims
Okay.
and.
I will have to go and see what's going on because
Yeah, because
I didn't
it looks
see
right there.
that. and it
Because on the
looks
right, that's the pool table, right?
Like, this is the pool table.
Yeah, and we have no activity in the neon sign at all.
The neon sign.
Yeah,
Which
no matter what
is-
setting it's on, we don't have any connectivity.
So the neon sign, I turn on every circuit that was on that one panel,
Nothing.
and I thought it was one of the